Alright guys, what's up? Good morning, good morning. Let me just alert my Discord, I'm live quick. CPI just came out. Looks like it was bullish. Very interesting. We do have perfect equal highs above us, which I am looking for us to take out. So hopefully we can get a trade up to these today. We have more sets of equal highs above as well. Oh, hold on one second, guys. Let me change this. We don't want the window capture. We want screen capture. Hold on one second. Display catcher. Yes, sir, Evan. It's CPI, so we have a big stream here. Hold on one second, guys. Just trying to figure out which one this is. Okay, this is it. Hold on one second here while I adjust this. Let's make it a little bigger. Sorry, guys. I had an update on my computer and it like tweaked out all of my stuff. I'm not sure why it did that, but all right. So I told you guys earlier I was expecting these equal highs and these equal highs above us here, and I want to eventually rebalance this new week opening gap. That is my objective. You guys know that we've balanced this daily fair value gap fully now, so I will label this. We've fully balanced the daily fair value gap, and now I'm expecting a movement out of here. We do have another daily gap that we're trading into right now, but I'm not so concerned about this rejecting. So we'll see. Let me alert the Discord. Sorry, guys. Oopsies. Wow, it is really early. Announcements. Where's my announcements tab? All right, so basically now what I'm doing, guys, this is my bread and butter setup. Again, does it always work? Obviously not. However, I do like that we're bouncing from these levels. So one of two things is going to happen here, in my view. Either we are going to come down and sweep this low and then get an A plus setup up to here, or we're simply going to bounce out of this fair value gap that we formed here, and we're going to go up to this high. The other option too, I mean, there's one more, but it's that we sweep the high, come down and sweep the low, and then we go up later. So I'm going to label both of these and see. Hopefully the data low gets swept, and then we get a setup, but doesn't have to happen. Yes, sir. It's 5:30 in Cali right now. You can see, actually, you can't even see on my time right now, but it's 5:34. Crazy early. So I'm pulling up Top Step so I can see the 30-second charts and above. But there should be some kind of a really nice setup today to these equal highs and the data highs. So I'm hoping to catch that. Unfortunately, sometimes you have to take 30-second trades. So I might enter on the 30-second, but I will enter on this screen so you guys can see all of my PD arrays, all of my equal highs, everything that you need to see. Oh, whoops. You can't even see me. There we go. So, and the reason that I'm bullish now, guys, I mean, if you look at this on the hourly chart, okay, you can see that we have fully filled this daily fair value gap, and we swept. This doesn't seem right to me. I thought we swept this liquidity a second time. Maybe we didn't. Oh no, we swept this liquidity. So we turtle souped yesterday. This is a really good setup that I didn't quite get it right here, but I did call out the entry up here in the Discord. I didn't take it though because it was the afternoon and I'd already taken a loss, so it wasn't worth it to me. But nonetheless, I do think that these equal highs are now going to come. I believe we formed an SMT on ES too. Yeah, look at this, guys. If you look at the hourly chart, we made a lower low here, and on NQ, on the hourly, we made a higher low. So this is an SMT again, guys. Evan, so was that 831 candle because of the CPI news? The 830 candle, but yes. This is the red folder news that drives the markets. That's why I woke up. And what I want to see here is one of these get swept and then target the other one. So what I'm looking for here is some kind of a move. Hopefully, I mean, we don't have to take out the data low first, but like if we trade into the mean threshold of this gap, for example, and we get an A plus IFVG to the upside, I'll take it. I'll take my first profit at the data highs and my second profit at the equal highs. So we'll see if we get that. Oh yeah. Yeah, see, this is the type of thing I don't trust. But if we do get an A plus setup here, I'll take it regardless, but we'll see what we get. Most of the time, guys, we sweep one of these first and then we reverse to the other side. So, for example, if we sweep this low, then maybe we get a really nice setup from here. Target the highs and then the equal highs. If we sweep the data high first, I'm of the opinion that we might just keep going up, but if we do get an inverse, we can target the lows and then look for a setup later on to target the equal highs. There's a few different scenarios that can play out here, but this is like my bread and butter setup because you can use these two sets of liquidity. I've made YouTube videos on this before and YouTube shorts. But there's plenty of situations where we sweep one, we reverse to the other, or vice versa. We sweep the high, we go to the lows, and then if you're bullish, you could even get another trade that day to target the equal highs. So there's so many different situations here. But this is a somewhat lackluster CPI for the range of candles we're in. It was a huge move, don't get me wrong. But I think this had the ability to go higher and it didn't. So let's see what the correlation was to TLT there. Let me look at the hourly chart. Whoops. So looks like this is a negative reaction for TLT, which is interesting. Let me look at the 10-year quick. Where's TNX? Bullish reaction on the 10-year. Interesting. So I'm going to go over this. I made a video about this yesterday, but I'll go over the 10-year and 20-year treasuries and how it correlates to inflation. I want to see what the CPI print was too. Let's go on Forex Factory. CPI print came in, wow. Inflation came in lower than expected. 2.8 versus 2.9. That's pretty crazy. So, in my opinion, guys, with inflation coming in lower than expected and unemployment going up, I don't see any way how the Fed cannot cut more than they expected to. Let's see what happened to the rate probabilities. Interesting. March meeting has a 97% chance of keeping rates where they are. Let's see what happened with May. Very interesting. All right, so we're trading into the mean threshold of this fair value gap. So let's see if we get that bullish reaction that we want. What I would really prefer to see, you guys, is the low get swept first and then get an A plus set up to the highs here. And I'm looking on the 30-second chart, nothing A plus that I see either here. So I need to see some manipulation here. So maybe like a sweep of this internal high here and then a dump. Do you think that 50K Trader 8 funded is the best Apex offers? I mean, it really just depends, Evan, on what your goals are. If you just want, a decent sized account and you want to trade with it, sure. If you're looking to copy trade, I think 50Ks are great too. Unless you're looking to trade with one account with bigger size, then you could trade with something else. But I think that the 50Ks are a good deal, especially when they're 90% off. Right now, they're only 80% off, I believe. But there should be some some 90% deals soon. Okay, guys, I'll be right back. I just gotta go get my coffee, and then I'll be right back. All right. I can get it for 33 or a top step for 49. It really depends, Evan, on what you're looking for. But I will tell you, if you are struggling with over trading and following your discipline and rules, then I highly recommend Top Step over Apex. And the reason being, it's not both of them. You can limit the amount of money you lose per day, but with Top Step, you can actually limit the amount of trades you take per day as well, which is super, super, super good. Like limit your trading to 2 trades a day. So good. Okay. It's just very interesting to me that the 10-year yield was pumping on this news of inflation, because if inflation is going down, guys, then there is no reason that the Fed has, with unemployment going up, there's no reason for the Fed not to cut rates. And that's the objective of the Trump administration right now, is they're trying to get the 10-year down. Okay, you guys know the 10-year is responsible for, it's basically the interest rate that the government is paying on our debt, and they refinance this debt every so often. By the way, guys, no setup, that's why I'm not bringing up the chart here, but there's literally nothing until one of these gets swept. But they refinance the debt, and they want to refinance this debt at the lowest rates possible. You can see when we started cutting rates in September, we've actually, for the first time in history, had the 10-year push higher when the Fed cuts rates. So very, very unusual that this is happening. And they were expecting to be able to refinance rates, lower than maybe they even were in May. So with the Fed having to cut, I don't see how the 10-year is spiking here again, which is pretty wild to me, but we'll see if it holds or not. This could be a manipulation move for the time being. Maybe we come up and fill this gap and then we reject further later, but very interesting. I saw some people get mad at them for not paying them out, but I don't know the whole story through Top Step. I don't know. I've never heard of that personally, but I mean, in every situation, I'm sure there are situations like that, but in every situation, there are people that, don't follow the rules correctly and they don't get payouts. That happens with Apex too. Should we change the color today to red to jinx everything? Or should we change it to blue? Or should we change it to green? What do you guys prefer? Should we change it to green so that we have a green day? Or does that jinx it in itself? Okay, so we hit the mean threshold, but not an A plus setup here anywhere. So we'll see what we get today. I'm going to be super patient, but objectively, or my objective is going to be the equal highs up here. All right, Evan, we'll change it to green. How's my hat hair today? Ooh. Oh my goodness. Okay, it doesn't look terrible, I guess. Can keep it off. Actually, it looks pretty bad. Let's keep it back on. So again, guys, this is the bread and butter setup. You got curly hair. No, I mean, I think it's wavy. So we'll see what we get here, but I'm expecting some kind of manipulation. I don't want to see clean delivery up to this data high with no A plus setup, but we'll see. Again, once one of these gets swept, I'm looking for the opposite. I hope the low gets swept first. And then ideally we can get an A plus setup from there, and then we can target the highs and we can target the equal highs above. Tesla's up 6% in pre-market. Oh, damn. Yeah, my position's going up like crazy. That's all. Not good to see that. Let me turn on the light here. Good morning, Robert. No Discord stream today. The Discord stream is going to be tomorrow. Good to see you, Robert. And then Friday is going to be back on YouTube. This week was Tuesday, Thursday, Discord. So I'm hoping we somehow are able to sweep this data low first. Doesn't have to happen, but you know, looking at this leg of price, there's really nothing A plus that I see. Nice, Robert. Well, hopefully we can catch a setup while you're here. Yes. So I mean I put this in Discord every week, but there's a red folder news. So at 8:30 in the morning, 5:30 my time, there was CPI today, which is one of the biggest news events in the markets. And that's what created this massive candle. So what I'm looking for is a sweep of the low, and then I'm going to target the high. So this is called I call it the data candle setup. Some people call it the one setup for life. But when we have red folder news in the morning and it creates a huge candle, either to the upside or the downside, you're basically looking for one side to get swept, the low or the high of that candle, and then you target the other one. So in this case, I'm looking for the low to get swept first, ideally, and then targeting the data highs and the equal highs we have above. I'm guessing that the next 2 days will bring us up here. And it's kind of a big move to ask, but we've had a huge range. So to here, we're looking at 347 points. To here, we're looking at 196, which can easily be done today just because of how big of candle sizes we've had. But we'll see. So again, guys, I'm looking for a liquidity sweep and then to take out this high. If this gets hit first, I'll have to probably wait to take anything else. So the other option, again, is that we sweep this high and then we come down and sweep the low and then we go up. So there's a few different scenarios that can play out here, but I love this setup. This is probably my most successful trading day, is when we have red folder 8:30 news that creates a really big candle. Specifically, CPI is a good one. But we will see. How did crypto react to that? Let's check on Bitcoin. 83. Bitcoin reacting bullishly there. Interesting. How's ETH doing? Dude, look at this A+ setup on ETH. Sweep of liquidity. Close above the IFEG. Entry on the retrace if you wanted. Stop to break even at this high, and you could have targeted all these internals here, this high, and then you missed this one, but then it ended up retrading. It should still go up here in my opinion, but we'll see. Okay guys, so no entry here on the 1 minute chart for me to go long, unfortunately, and I don't even see anything on the 30-second. So what I'm hoping for here is that this high, this internal high right here, ends up being where we reject. So we swept it by a tick. And that we end up shooting down here and taking out the lows. CPI took out by session highs. Do you think we take out lows? CPI took out by session highs. Yeah, I mean this is the session high, but I wouldn't be surprised if we get a rejection here. I'm watching the 30-second chart. We have a bullish fair value gap in this like leg of price right here. So if we close below this, I wouldn't be surprised to see the lows, or at least target this right here. Well, technically this is still, I mean, I guess it just depends what you view as New York. For me, I have my Asia to my London. London starts at midnight, closes at 6, and then New York is everything past it. But I guess it just depends how you label them. My macro times, I mean my session times are a little bit different to some people's. Because this high and this high were the difference between these is 3 minutes. So but let's see if this ends up holding. So far this OB is holding on the 1 minute, but on the 30-second, I wouldn't be surprised to see a close below here, and then I would target this low and this low. We do have a 30-second fair value gap in this red candle right here, so we could possibly get one more sweep of this high and then the dump. We'll see. What was that? Just news. Oh my goodness, Robert. Went back and watched ICT playlists about OTE and market maker models. I used the midnight to midnight vertical session dividers. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so let's see if this ends up being what dumps us here. Wouldn't be surprised. Okay, so this looks like it will probably end up sweeping lows, but I have to see the 30-second close below, which it hasn't yet. So it would look, the setup would look a little bit like this. Whoops, that is a long setup. We want a short setup. It would look something like this. Then you would target this low. Let's go, Robert. Good to know, bro. Yeah, thank you for watching them. I appreciate that. Okay, so I'm waiting for the 30-second here to see if it closes below. I think this will be a decent setup. If we end up pumping above this high and then we get another rejection, I think it'll be even better to target the lows here and the lows here. But we'll see. There is a tiny 1 minute IFEG to the upside here, but I would never take this. It's way, way low probability. Yo, Kay, good morning, bro. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Okay, so it looks like we're potentially going to get this close below on the 30-second. I think this is a good trade to take personally if it happens, so we'll see if it does. I would prefer to see one more sweep of this high and then get the dump, but we'll see what we get here. Okay, so there's a push higher here. If we can sweep this high, guys, and then we get an immediate rejection candle, I'm going to target this low and then this low right here for a scalp. And by the way, guys, today is cash and funded account trading. It's red folder CPI, which is my bread and butter. So we will see what we get. What's ES doing right now? Let's pull up the 1 minute quick. So ES is in the same bow, but looks slightly weaker. ES has filled its whole gap, but never swept the 830 low. Very interesting. So normally, K, I will look for the highs first, and then I'll target the lows, but if this high gets swept and we close back down here, I think we'll be targeting these lows, and then we'll get another setup later. But yes, ideally, if you want to wait for the highs to get swept and then target the lows or vice versa. But for me right now, I am more under the opinion that we're going to go higher today because we have two sets of equal highs above us and this internal low that we swept the other day. So I'm actually going to delete this because we've already touched it multiple times, so it doesn't really matter. But we have equal highs and a fair value gap here on the hourly chart. So that is what I want to see. So I'm hoping that we end up sweeping this high one more time and then we reject, take out the lows, and then we go higher. That would be the optimal setup. So right here, You want to see a big bearish close, and then I would short, stop to break even at this low, and then I target here and here. So let's see if we get a setup. There is an IFEG on the 30-second that I'm looking at. So I wouldn't recommend doing this trade, guys, if you're not experienced with the 30-second. Again, this is just a very quick scalp for me, and I'm going to cut it very early if it fails. But the 30-second formed in this green candle right here. So I want to see it close right before the low of this green candle. This is where the 30-second FEG is, the last one in the leg of price. We also have a 30-second fair value gap right here where these two candles are. So if we get one more trade up here and then a down move, I'll look for a short. But we will see, we will see. Has anybody taken any trades yet? Right? I know, okay. I just wish I was at the computer. I sat down, immediately saw it, and by the time I was done typing, it had already moved a bunch of points, and by that point I wasn't interested in taking it. But if I just would have waited for that setup, this is what I talk about so much, guys. I'll pull this up real quick so you guys can see this. Okay, this was an example of an A plus 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 setup yesterday. We filled the daily gap here. We came down, swept this liquidity with this candle, and we swept this liquidity with these candles. A plus 5 in IFEG. Personally, I would have moved my stop to break even here or here, and you can see it cleanly delivered all the way up to the equal highs. A beautiful almost 6.5 to 1 RR trade. Too nice. So I called it, by the time I was finished typing, it was up here, and I was just like, nah, I already took a loss on the day, so I'm not going to take it on my live accounts. But if I hadn't have taken a trade and I just waited patiently for this, oh my god, I would have gone full size on this. But unfortunately, I had to keep my discipline because I'd already taken my loss on the day. I could not take this setup, but it is what it is. All right. So I think this is a short, guys. I'm looking at the 30-second chart here. So my stop loss on this is going to be right up here. My TP, I'm going to aim for these lows right here. So it's a 1-for-1 scalp. But if this low gets swept, I'm going to move my stop to break even very quick. So I'm hovering my stop loss. We'll see if we get this here. In fact, I'm actually going to keep my stop right here for now. Okay, so the low has not been swept yet, but I'm hovering my finger over the stop loss here. 30-second looks like it's about to close, but it actually is still holding, so I have to be careful here. Okay. Let's see if we get the dump here. No 30-second close below yet. Still holding. Oh, I don't like that. So unfortunately, I front run this. I think it's still going to work, but we'll see how the 30-second holds here or not. The 30-second looks like it's about to close below, but we'll see. Okay, there's a 30-second close below. I moved my stop to break even, but I think that these lows are coming. So we'll see. Up 200. Again, this is a free trade now. Doesn't matter what happens. We could bounce from here, but I'm betting on a further move down. Up 115, 125. And almost a break-even stop there. Not quite, though. Beautiful. 210. I might lock in some profits, but I prefer to see this low right here get swept. All right, I'm going to lock in some profits there and then hopefully get my 500. Let's see. Beautiful move so far. And boom. Look at that, guys. So I think it probably goes lower, but that was my objective, was this low. And actually, it filled my order without it actually sweeping, which is always nice. So that is one win on the day, and we will keep it at that for now. The only other trade I will be taking today, if I get it, is going to be a sweep of the data lows or a sweep of these lows, and then an A+ setup to the upside. So now we have a cushion on the day. What's up, Chulo? We have a cushion on the day. And yeah, so again, guys, the trade here was a 30-second IFEG, and I did front run it, but you can see here that we only came up slightly, and then we rejected. And I think we're going to take out these lows now, but again, we'll see. It was just a very small scalp. But there are no equal lows that I see, no. But I think that this data low, or at least this low, will come. So we'll see. We do have a 30-second and a 1-minute bullish fair value gap right here, so we could bounce out of this, but I would prefer that we don't. And that we close below it, sweep this, and then get another setup. Wait, okay, there is equal lows, or you're asking? I didn't see any equal lows. Are these perfectly equal? No. Oh, there is a set right here. Interesting. Are they perfectly equal? Yeah, they are. Good point out, Kay. We do have perfect equal lows right here. So maybe we get the data low sweep and the equal lows, and then we get a bullish setup from there. And that would pair nicely with the hourly fair value gap that we have here. So let's see if that's what ends up happening. So maybe we get this, guys. We'll see. But so far, I've had a winning trade, so I'm going to be very cautious with the next trade that I take. I'm not going to rush into anything. Just above the 30-second. Just above the 30-second. Okay, but we swept them, right, Kay? So did anybody take that scalp with me earlier? For 500? Anyone take this 1-for-1 scalp? It was actually less than a 1-for-1, but Jose, what's up? Okay, waiting for the A plus setup. Fair enough. I think that was really good. Okay, but again, oh, Maggie took it. Nice. Um, I think it was good enough because we swept the internal high here, but I would probably rate the setup that I took a 7.5 out of 10. I just tried to pass eval with CPI news, bull up, one bearish, and I blew both. That's hilarious, bro. I know a lot of people do that. They'll just front run CPI, and then if it ends up going up, they pass the account. If it ends up going down, they don't, or vice versa. But so bullish reaction from the 1 minute. There is a 1 minute fair value gap here, but not A plus enough for me to view as a long setup. I'd need to see more liquidity get swept here. So I'm going to be waiting to see if I take another setup. But congrats to those of you guys who took it. You should trade with MNQ. I should trade with MNQ. Why should I trade with MNQ? I do sometimes trade with MNQ, but it just depends on the day. Okay, so I'm expecting this IFEG, this bullish fair value gap to fail, and if it does, I think this low is coming, and then hopefully we get a data low sweep. Chulo never trades with MNQ, just because today might be as nice as might be asked since the moves happened. I don't know how that has any correlation to what I would trade. I'm not, just because you trade trading in terrible price conditions is universal. It doesn't matter what you trade. If you trade NQ or MNQ, it's still bad price action. You'll lose regardless. It doesn't make any difference what asset you trade. Or if you trade a smaller version of the asset or a bigger version. It's all going to lead to to unprofitability. Oh no. Jim Cramer just posted, go time, don't scalp, Tesla leader. Buh. Guys, pray for your Tesla positions. Yeah, Chulo's got some big cojones, bro. He's always trading with NQ, even with the huge range. Like the last few days, I've been trading with MNQ on my fundeds for sure. I can't risk these things with. I can't risk like a 1,000 point stop loss on a 50K. There's no way. The only times I've been trading with NQ over the last few weeks is with 300K accounts. That's it. Okay, so I will say, let me look at ES real quick. No SMT here at the highs, but there is a bullish fair value gap we're delivering from and a really decent looking 1 minute IFEG. I think I'm going to skip on this, but nonetheless, it is a setup and technicality. All right, we're delivering from a bullish 1 minute. And we have an IFEG stop to break even at this high, and you can target the data highs, but Chulo's too old to be wasting his time with MNQ. Well, I mean, listen, MNQ you can get some good trades with too, and it also allows you to partial with. So I definitely understand why people use it. For me, it just depends on the range of the day. If it's a huge range, then I will. But like today, for example, I mean, it was about a 200 something dollar risk once I saw this candle. 270 to make 500. That's not too big of a risk for me. But when I have like $1,000 stop loss to make 3,000 and I'm trading with 50Ks, then I definitely trade with MNQs. Just depends on the day, how much I'm willing to risk, what account I'm using. But let's see K. I don't know if K is still in here, but let's see if this plays out. If we get the data low sweep and the equal lows and we get an A plus IFEG from here, that'll be the second trade I take on the day. Let's see if we get it. If this moment it closes below as well, guys, I think this is a great short down to this low and then potentially down to the data lows, but we'll see. Again, I'm not taking the short. I already took a short up here, booked profits at these lows, and yeah, so we'll see what we get now, but yeah, it would be nice, Kay. If we could get that, that would be awesome. And that would end up taking us, I mean, if we could get an entry somewhere down here, we could potentially capture a 350 point move today. I would definitely, if I was in a trade from down here, I would partial at this high and this high. And then my ultimate target would be the equal highs. Maybe if I had an extra runner, I'd leave it to here. By the way, guys, we opened a short up on the VIX yesterday, basically at 29.20. So just on UVXY shares, we're up 12.5%. On the VIX short, I think we're up quite a bit more than that. We'll see what happens when market opens, but on the puts. So that was really nice. Called that out in the Discord live stream yesterday. I'm telling you guys, if you guys look to short the VIX, this is essentially a free trade. When we get these massive pumps, oftentimes the next day we'll have big sell-offs. At minimum back down. I mean, like from a 29 short, we'll probably get down to the 22, 21 area. But yeah, that should be a really nice profit. We'll see what happens. Oh, we only got 6 minutes till market open. That's nice. Ooh. So technically this is a setup, but I don't like taking trades right before market open. Uh-oh, did you guys just see my credit score? Okay, so technically, if this woman it closes above, this is a setup. We have 30 seconds till it happens, but I personally am not going to take this. It's not A plus enough for me. I'd rather see this liquidity get swept and potentially the data lows before taking a long. But ultimately, I do want the data highs today, and I want the equal highs, so we'll see how we get it. But this is not a good enough setup for me personally. Even though it may work, I'm not taking it. I'd rather see more liquidity get swept. Especially because I already have a win on the day. I'm not going to rush into anything that's not 100% optimal. So we did get a close above there. My goodness, bro. Ah. Ooh, it's getting cold, bro. I need to turn on the heater. Tesla with a nice pump. Palantir pumping. Nike selling off. ASML pumping. Amazon pumping. Let's see how my Google ads were. So if you guys didn't know, I added Google on this down move. I called this in the Discord. I think that this area is going to be really nice to add Google for the long term. Okay, so another close above here on the 1 minute. If you're in this trade, guys, your stop to break even should be at this internal high, and then you could hold this all the way up. But I don't think this is A plus enough, and we're too close to market open for me to take this right now. But if you're in this, guys, your stop should be to break even here for sure. And then you're basically just banking on a free trade and hoping this runs all the way to the data highs. So we'll see if you get it. Okay, so we'll see here. I'm expecting some manipulation. I don't want to see, I doubt this is going to cleanly deliver up here. But ideally, guys, I'd love to see these lows get swept and then to get a setup. So, going to be patient. Lesson learned from yesterday, right? If I would have just been patient and waited for this A plus setup, then I would have had a much more fun afternoon with this huge win. And I did call this in the Discord, obviously, but I didn't take it because I had a loss and it was the afternoon session. We had CPI today, so, but I still do think this is going to end up going up here ultimately. So that is my objective, and I'm going to look for an A plus setup to these equal highs. If you guys don't know what equal highs are, again, they are perfectly equal highs that form in the market. We have two sets of them that formed on Monday, and then another set that formed on Monday as well in the morning session. So perfectly equal to the tick, perfectly equal to the tick. So those are my objective for today. Pretty slow. Oh, the market hasn't opened yet. We got 2 seconds. So let's see how we deliver now. Okay, there's a dump here. Hopefully this holds and we end up sweeping the data low, and then we get a really nice setup later. All alone. Okay, so let's see what happens here. Again, guys, the only way I'm looking for a long here is if we can sweep this liquidity and this liquidity. And ideally sweep the equal lows, and then I'll look for a setup. So I'm not going to get FOMO here. If this starts pumping up here, up to these equal highs, I don't care. The only other setup I'm taking today is if we get the liquidity sweep. Again, I already have a pretty nice win, so I'm not going to rush into anything. Okay, so another big pump here. On the 30-second chart, we do have a tiny fair value gap above us, but didn't quite reach it. It's right over here. So we'll see if maybe we get a touch into it and then a rejection. Yo, what's up, Charlie? Good morning, brother. Good morning, good morning. We took a really nice scalp, Charlie, this morning. Quick 500 down into this fair value gap right here and these equal lows. That actually K pointed these out. So good job, K, for seeing those. And a lot of people don't know, but we have equal lows down here. So hopefully we get some kind of a sweep. So we just entered that 30-second gap here. I would not be surprised to see this dump. Again, I'm not calling that, but I wouldn't be surprised if you want to take like a really good RR setup here. Again, I don't do RR setups, but this right here and target the lows, that would be pretty nice. Good RR, but not a good setup, in my opinion. I don't just blindly short fair value gaps. So we just filled the 30-second right there. Uh-oh. So this is why I don't blindly short fair value gaps. But this was a good RR trade nonetheless. But you can see that it's not working. So again, this is why I switched to IFEGs a long time ago, is because just blindly shorting a gap and thinking it's going to reject is not smart. But you can see here, so we had a 1 minute IFEG, stop to break even, and you would have gotten stopped out on this trade. So sucks that happened, but hopefully we get another setup today up to the equal highs. I doubt they just let this run, but we'll see. Did anybody try taking this 1 minute and get smoked on this wick down? Did anyone take this 1 minute IFEG long, stop to break even at this high and get stopped out on this wick? Because if you did, congratulations, that was a good trade in my opinion. You followed the model, you executed efficiently, and you got stopped for break even. That is totally fine, guys. Again, I personally don't like taking 1 minute fair value gaps, especially right at market open. Sorry, I do like taking 1 minute fair value gaps, but not this type. I'd rather see another liquidity sweep, and I don't like to see it right at market open or close to market open because you end up getting this type of stuff. All along, da 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 do do do. So again, guys, I am going to be honest with you because I've taken a decent sized winning trade. It wasn't huge, but it wasn't small. I am not going to be taking any more longs unless we get liquidity sweeps here. I want to see this liquidity get swept, stop out all the long traders, and then get the data high and the equal highs. Or the other option, guys, is if we get a strong displacement above this data high, and then we get a pullback and a really nice 1 minute IFEG. So if we get something like this, let me draw it out for you. If we get a very big displacement above the data high, and then we get a nice IFEG setup right here, then I will try this. So sweep, close above the IFEG, retest, and then equal highs. And then you could also leave runners up to the equal highs above. So we'll see what we get. But objectively, what I'd prefer here is a sweep of this liquidity, stop out longs, and then go up. It's so funny how inflation is lowering and my TLT position is down, right? Which makes no sense because in this type of environment, the Fed is very likely to cut now. And that means that the 10-year is probably going to come down. And yeah, and with inflation coming down and unemployment going up, we expect the Treasury to stop issuing treasuries and for the supply to decrease and the yields to drop. But we'll see what happens. I'm always watching TNX. Super important to watch the 10-year here. Hope that doesn't bore any of you, but you should understand like the economy generally, the principles of how the Fed works, how interest rates work. It's going to impact everything. Mortgages, car loans, inflation, unemployment. And it will impact stocks too, right? Because for the 10-year to drop like the Trump administration wants to happen so that they can refinance their debt at cheaper levels, for this to drop, the economy is unfortunately going to have to take a hit. So, okay, so I like this candle drop right here. I'd like to see this be the move that brings us down to this low, then potentially the data lows, potentially the equal lows, and then maybe get a setup from there. So we'll see. We will see. Again, just because I want this candle to move down doesn't mean I'm taking a trade, right? That's not smart. Do 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 do. How's ES doing? ES still has not swept its data candle low either, right? We have our data high right here and our data low right here. If we can get an SMT here, maybe a sweep of the low, that will be a nice, potentially a nice setup, but very big discrepancy between ES and NQ here. You can see NQ is almost at its data high. ES is still close to its data low, so ES is obviously a lot weaker than NQ here. So if I'm looking for a bullish setup, I'm definitely going to be trading NQ over ES. Who has and who has not taken a trade today? I know some people took this scalp with me when we swept down to these equal lows, so I've taken one. If I hear an answer more than 2 trades today already, I'm kicking you off of the stream. But in all seriousness, I think you honestly, the whole day, you should not have more than 2 trades ever. I rarely ever take more than 2 trades. Yesterday I took more than 2, but it was because I had break-even stops. But I rarely take more than 2 trades. K is waiting for the sweep of the data high. So yeah, if you guys are waiting for the sweep of this data high, I would not just enter a short. Obviously, K is smart and he looks for an A plus IFEG. But also be aware of how heavily we displace above it. If we have a huge displacement, odds are we're probably going to go to the equal highs. However, if there's an A plus IFVG, you can try it. Personally, I don't really like to short when we have equal highs above us, especially when we've been in discount for so long. But here was a little bit different because I know they often have manipulative moves first. So it's just depending on your screen time, guys. I knew this was probably going to work with a high degree of certainty, so I was fine with scalping it with a hard stop. But we'll see. Charlie, no trades yet. Very nice. So, patiently waiting here, guys. Let's see if we get something. Okay, nice sweep here. I hope that these hold. And I hope that this ends up driving us down to these lows. So if we can get the data low sweep, guys, then I will look for a long setup. But that's the only other thing I'm going to be taking today. If you missed it, we took a profitable trade here. So I'm not going to be taking anything unless this setup plays out. So an important thing I would advise you guys do if you're new to trading is, I wouldn't say if you're new to trading. I would study the markets, see how things behave. This type of day is the day where I see the most success. The 8:30 news candle setup today, it happened to be CPI. And study it and see what happens. I know that oftentimes the low, if I'm looking for equal highs or a bullish setup, oftentimes what will happen is the lows get swept and then I get an A plus setup from them. So I only take a trade if my thesis plays out like I'm expecting. So there is a 1 minute fair value gap that has formed here. If this ends up closing above, I do think this is a good long. Yeah, this 1 minute looks pretty good. K is calling things out before I even say them on the stream. That is sick. And there's a delay, so props to K for that. So we did sweep this low with this candle, but I want to see more liquidity. I want to see this low get swept. Stop out all the long traders. And hopefully we get the data low sweep and the equal lows first too. So we'll see. Okay, so this does look good, guys, but I am going to wait for more liquidity sweeps. I want to talk to you, Oaf, someday. What do you mean, Kay? We talk I mean, not every 2 weeks anymore, but anytime you guys want to have coaching calls, if you're part of the Discord, I offer 30-minute sessions included with the Discord. Does that most recent wick down into up close candle before the current leg down, does that wick mean MSCISD or am I seeing it wrong? Recent wick down into up close candles. this one right here, this is technically a change in the state of delivery, yes, but it's on the 1 minute time frame and it's within a range, so not as keen on this being a CISD, if this is what you're talking about right here. But technically, if you're looking for a short, then yes, but... Wow, Tesla's up at 250 again. Let's go. It's just tough because we're inside of a range and it's in a 1 minute chart without like major liquidity sweeps. So I wouldn't consider this like an actual CISD. However, on the 1 minute time frame, if this is going to be bearish, then this fair value gap should be used as resistance to go lower. So yes, technically it is a CISD, but not one that I would like go full blown into, if that makes sense. I mean, the 1 minute is a good time frame to observe CISD, but like, let me give you an example. This is a better CISD to me. So we sweep the low of day, and then we have a huge bullish reaction above this 1 minute candle. That's a CISD to me. I called this trade out yesterday in the Discord. But again, I told you guys I didn't take it because I had a loss on the day because I have discipline. But nonetheless, you can see it delivered all the way up to the equal highs. So change in the state of delivery, 5 minute IFEG, and then a very bullish move. Oh, sorry, right here. But anyways, let's go back to the trading day today because that's all that matters, right? Okay, finally the liquidity sweep I'm looking for. There it goes. If we can get the data lows now, I think that'll look really nice. This 1 minute fair value gap also looks pretty decent if we end up creating one. So we'll see what happens here. Gonna get rid of the blue box. Gonna get rid of the fair value gap here. But you can see we did just get a liquidity sweep. And we'll see what happens from here. Oh, let me post the... I always forget to do this, but... Again, guys, if you want to live trade with me every day, 3 days a week I'm doing on YouTube. 2 days a week I'm doing in the Discord. But as my subscriber count grows, I'm going to eventually take it completely private. And when I get to 2,000 subs, we're going to raise the prices. So right now it's really cheap. It's like $19.99 a month, which is pretty wild. That's like 60 cents a day or something. And as soon as, I'm going to say when my subs get to like 2,000, I'll raise the prices, but we'll see. But if you join the community now, you will lock in those prices for life. So I don't know when I'm going to change the prices just yet, but likely at 2,000. So sweep of liquidity, there is a 1 minute fair value gap here. It's a little bit small for my liking, and honestly, I'd prefer the data lows and the equal lows down here. But if you have not taken a trade and you want to risk this, I think this is a pretty decent setup. And then your target will be the equal highs and the data highs. Yes, it's definitely possible, Kay, and that's what I want to see. Especially now that I found these equal lows below us. I would like to see these get hit. Now, this does look really good. I'm not going to lie. When does this candle close? We've got... Jose's done for the day. Nice, Jose. Did you take a short here or something? Okay, so we got 5 seconds. So this is a 1 minute setup, guys. If you want to take this, I don't think this is bad. Risk reward is pretty good. You'd have to stop out the trade if we get a 1 minute close below. I do think this is pretty good. I'm not going to lie. But I'd prefer to see the data low get swept first, which is why I'm going to wait. But technically, this is a really nice looking setup. I just, with the equal lows below and the data lows that haven't been swept yet, I'd prefer to see these get swept before targeting the equal highs. Jose says 1 minute FEG formed at 9:43 and I took long. You took this, you took this bearish fair value gap long. Why would you take this long? So there's a close below in the 1 minute. So this is technically a failed trade, guys. Again, this is just out of experience. I know that we're likely to go to the data lows here, so I did not take this trade. Longed before the FEG formed. So why did you long this? What was the setup? Because obviously that was a loss, right? Wow. See what they did there? Closed it below the IFEG, swept it by a couple ticks, and now they're probably going to move it higher here. But we'll see. Again, guys, I'm not interested in taking these types of candles. When I start seeing random PA where the market starts moving really fast for no inherent reason, I mean, yes, we did enter a macro time, but that's besides the point. I stay away until more liquidity is swept to the downside. Would that 1 minute close below be considered a Judas swing? Which 1 minute close? I took long from 723 to 735. That's a... Okay. I don't really understand, Jose, what your setup was, but I'm happy that you're green, sir. Okay, so when I look at this PA, guys, I ask myself, do I want to be a part of what's going on here? And the answer is absolutely not. We're closing above inverses, closing back below them. This to me is a signal that price action is probably going to behave badly. Again, the reason I love my model so much is because it also gives you a signal as to how the market's going to behave. If you see an inverse close above and then close below, and then we have these massive wicks and stuff, this is a signal that price action is probably going to behave poorly for the time being. So what I'm looking for here is for the market to kind of consolidate, wick everybody out, and then potentially get my liquidity sweep that I'm aiming for, and then get a long setup to target the equal highs today. So we'll see. But if I see an A+ setup, I will let you guys know. But this is my objective for today. This high, the data high, and then equal highs. Okay, so let's see if we get the sweep now. So what I'm looking for here, guys, again, is a big down close candle and then a very nice looking IFEG. Jose, I see us dumping to 580. Yeah, I mean, definitely. It's definitely possible here. I want the data lows. So I'm looking, again, for those of you who are maybe just tuning in, I don't know. We did take an A+, I mean, in my view, a 75 out of 100. 75 out of 100, like, what's the 7.5 out of 10. Short here, booked our profits. Now I'm looking for a sweep of the data low, potentially a sweep of the equal lows, and then a setup to target the data highs. This is where I think the objective is today. And then I think the equal highs are coming as well. So I'm looking for something like this. Good day, Miss Rachel. How are you? All the way from South Africa. So we have potentially two fair value gaps forming here. This is the setup that I'll be looking for now. If we can sweep the data lows, sweep the equal lows. But if we can get a setup down here that's even better, then I will take this. So we will see what we get. And I will obviously zoom into the other time frames to see if there's anything better. But like if we start forming 3 and 5 minute IFVGs, I will wait for the 5 minute to close before I take a long. Unless there's something too good to ignore down here. But I think the biggest mistake a lot of traders make is that they expect the market just to go up and then go straight back down. You have to be patient and wait for a price to develop. And if it's not clean PA, then you're going to have a bad time. So like this is not clean price action here, in my opinion. I want to see clean big candles with big gaps. If you can see big candles with big gaps, you end up taking good setups. So if that's one thing I can give you, if you're looking for clean price action, these types of candles, guys, this is not clean, okay? This is clean that I showed you guys yesterday. This is clean price action. Big candles, big gaps. So when you see this type of price action, this ends up being what delivers us up. And this is the setup that I called yesterday. Kay says 3 minute looking good after the sweep. 3 minutes. No real good 3 minute. Did the data low sweep? Wow, they missed them by a tick. Interesting. There's no 3 minute and there's no 5 minute right now. And no 1 minute either. 30-second doesn't look great. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, good call, K, before 3 minute was looking good, but no, it's not. So I really don't like that we missed the data lows. If this ends up being what delivers us up here, I mean, so be it. I'm not interested in taking part in this. So if this 2 minute closes above, I mean, could you guys try this? Yes, but I don't like the fact that we just missed the data lows, and I don't like the fact that we have equal lows below us. So I will be waiting patiently to see something A plus. Okay, rejection from the 2 minute, so that's good to see. So I'm so happy K is, so of all of my, I guess I can call them students, or all the people that are part of my community, because I mean, anyone, we're all students. I'm a student too, learning every day. But K, I think, is one of the most disciplined and one of the ones that's the most puts in the most work. Like he backtests a ton. He's often waiting for A plus setups. Yesterday when I called out the IFEG at the end of the day, the 5 minute, I told people to ingrain it in their minds. And he was the first person to respond saying, I am printing this in my brain, taking a screenshot to remember for the future. So if I could give you guys one piece of advice, wait for the clean price action, liquidity sweep, clean down close candles, 5 minute IFEG, equal highs above. This is the setup you're looking for right here. Liquidity sweep, and there was a liquidity sweep here just by a few ticks, and then a really clean price action. So that's the number one piece of advice I would give, is wait for that type of setup to form. And right now, none of this looks good enough to me. Yeah, it was so good. Literally. So like this, when I see this 2 minute and after no liquidity sweep, could this work? Sure, but it's not a plus to me. So I will be patient. And this isn't even a setup yet. You have to wait for the 2 minute to close. Okay, so let's see if we get what I want. Again, I'm looking for these data lows. And after the data lows, I'm looking for an A plus IFEG to the upside. So you guys see how I draw out my pathways, what I think is going to happen. And if it doesn't follow through like this, either A, I'm completely wrong about my bias, or B, they have another plan. And if there is something A plus, I'll take it. But I think this is objective. I keep using the word objectively. This is essentially what I'm looking for. Do 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 do. Beautiful. Okay. Woo. There's the data low. Immediately, I'm paying attention to this down close candle because I want to see this fully form an IFEG. I'm constantly looking, guys, for clean, big down close candles when I'm looking for a bullish setup because I'm looking for something that's going to induce traders to the downside. So right now I'm looking for this. If we can, oh, wow, immediate sweep of the data lows and then a very bullish reaction. Interesting. So if something forms here, guys, I can't take this. If this woman it closes above, sure, we can try it, but all of a sudden the risk to reward becomes terrible. But yeah, very bullish reaction straight from that data low. Very interesting. But nothing that interests me here. Yeah, so again, guys, the only way that I can take trades is if we get a A plus fair value gap. And if you look at this leg of price, there's absolutely nothing. Like this 1 minute, could this work? Sure, but I don't like that we have an internal high right at the fair value gap because what can happen is we can come up, sweep it, and then reject. So there's nothing in here for me to take personally. This 2 minute, I mean, could this work? Sure, but it's not A plus enough for me. If you guys want to try this here, and stop would be a 2 minute close back below, you can. RR is not excellent, but it's actually not terrible. So if you guys have not taken a trade and you want to size down on this and move your stop to break even when this high hits, you can. I would just prefer a better IFEG, so probably not going to take this. But again, my goal here is not to tell you what to trade, but to show you what I'm seeing on the charts and for you to make your own decisions. But for me, this is not good enough. However, could it work and you could have a free trade to this high? Absolutely. And then once that happens, I would move my stop to break even and I would just let it run. But this is not my type of trade. But I hope it works. But what I would really prefer to see, again, guys, is another sweep, take out the equal lows, and then get the setup. Make this black for you to see. This is what I would love to see. So if I don't get it, I don't get it. Again, I've taken a winning trade today. No need to rush into anything unless it's A plus. And this, I mean, we did sweep the lows and we have an IFEG, but this is really small, not A plus to me. But if this ends up working, so be it. If you're in this trade, guys, your stop to break even should be at this high, for sure. So again, hoping that this ends up rejecting. Again, I mean, I'm hoping for you guys that are in this long, I'm hoping it works, but for my setup, I'm hoping this happens. Again, just because I hope for something doesn't mean I'm going to now think, oh, let's short this because I think this is going to happen. No. Only if the setup forms, then I take the long. This is where I'm looking for an IFEG if I get it. But if this is just going to deliver, it's just going to go, so... What do I rate this PA right now? 5. If there was a cleaner IFEG here, I'd rate this probably close to a 10, but this is not great. There's no IFEGs in this. Even on the 30-second that I'm looking at, I don't see anything A+. This price action is not good. The 30-second here was better. Give it like a 7. But this PA, even on the lower time frames, the 30-second doesn't look good. This 1 minute above, what would I rate this setup to the upside? A 6, probably. I don't like that we have an internal high right here because we could sweep it and then immediately reject. So it's also super high, yeah. But the fact that we swept the data lows already makes this a better probability of going up. But I don't like this internal high here. All alone. We've already been live for an hour 40. How is that even possible? I guess time flies when you're having fun, huh? I literally feel like I've been on here for 30 minutes. Okay, so I'm hoping that this ends up cleanly delivering. Again, guys, not a lot of people see these equal lows here, and I think this has a decent potential of hitting. Okay, I said equal highs and equal lows are like my bread and butter. So when you see the market trade to perfect equal lows on the futures chart like this is oftentimes a magnet for price. So if we can get that, that'll be so good, and then we'll get an A+ setup from here to target the data highs. Stop out longs one more time, sweep the lows, and then get the long setup would be awesome. Let me look at ES quick. Oh, ES is so weak compared to NQ. Look at this. That is crazy. ES has already swept its equal lows section. Right? That's right before the London session. Yeah. Wow. That's incredible. Huge discrepancy. between the two indices. Okay, so a trade back into the 2-minute. This could be just a stop out candle to go higher here. But again, nothing that I like. Oh, actually this looks pretty decent now. So if we trade into this like this and then we close above, this looks pretty good. I'm not going to lie. I do like this setup. And then you would have to move your stop to break even here. So yeah, I'm thinking that what will probably happen here is, I mean, if this closes above, I think I'll take this with maybe a third size position. I wouldn't go full size on this. The only full size trade I would do is if we sweep the equal lows. But I don't think this is bad. Yeah, I think this is pretty good because you can see here we inverse the 2, which I didn't think was A+, but we're coming down potentially to stop out some longs here. And then if this closes above, I do think this is a good setup. It's big enough, and we have data highs and equal highs above, so yeah. I'm going to take this third size, but nonetheless, I think it's good. As long as we close somewhere here. If we close up here, I'm not taking it. Because I want to move my stop to break even as soon as this high hits. But ideally, guys, we just leave this, and then we trade down, and then we get an A+ full size setup here. But we will see. Okay, so no close above yet, so hopefully we get what I'm looking for. All right, patiently waiting, guys. Again, there's not much to say here apart from I'm waiting for my setup, right? If there's one thing I want you guys to learn, it's to be disciplined. If your setup doesn't present itself, you don't take a trade. If that happens, I am buying with 2 MNQ. That's the highest you can go. All right, okay. There you go, bro. Oh my goodness. Ah. Okay, patiently waiting. Let me check the other time frames here. Let's delete some of these off the chart. 3 minute. Let's look at the 5 minute. Yeah, nothing ideal yet. But soon enough, we should get something good. How's everything else doing here? Tesla at 246. Look at this, guys. Remember the daily gap I told you guys about? Huge bullish reaction here. I told you guys I was selling puts in the Discord. I told you guys that I was adding shares here. We also bought Google yesterday. We shorted the VIX yesterday. Everything is printing for me right now. And we called every single thing live. Crazy. Telling you guys, if you're disciplined and you wait for good setups and good moves, whether it be for long-term trades, for shorting the VIX, swing trading, option selling, if you just wait for the optimal levels, you'll end up printing money. That's just how the markets work. But it only rewards the disciplined. Let's look at ES here. Both making higher lows, sorry. Again, guys, want to see one more liquidity sweep here. If we can get this low to get swept and get an IFEG here after sweeping equal lows, that is a plus to me. Oh, no, no. Do, 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 do. Do, do, do. So again, guys, I don't know who's tuning in here, but if this gets swept, if this IFEG gets filled and closed above, I will take this 1/3 size position. If this gets swept first and we get an IFEG here, I'll go full size. But I would really, really, really prefer to see this get swept and then get my setup. To the left, everything you own in the box to the left. Bro, what are these songs that are popping into my mind right now? My brain woke up today and chose violence. Too many things popping into my mind at once while I'm trying to trade. And also for those of you guys who are maybe newer to trading that are seeing all these people posting like crazy gains and taking 50 trades in a day, I'm telling you right now, this is the reality of trading. Okay, what you're seeing right now, sitting at the charts for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, sometimes more before an A+ setup happens. Yesterday, I'm telling you guys right now, the best setup of the day came all the way in the afternoon session. So if you started market open here, you waited a long time until the setup came. So the reality is, guys, that most of the time with trading, you are sitting doing nothing. And there is a very small time window where you execute. Do not fall for any of the tricks of people saying, I sat at the computer for 30 minutes today, took a $1,000 trade and went straight to the gym and went along with my day. Then 9 times out of 10, guys, you will not be able to do that. I mean, sometimes you get some really good setups in the pre-market session, possible, but the majority of the time, if you're waiting for the cleanest delivery of price, you're going to have to wait quite a bit of time or be ultra patient. There are days where I'm done in the first hour, but it's few and far between. Okay, so a nice 1 minute inverse here to the downside. I'm not taking this short, but I expect it to work to the equal lows. We'll see though. But I do like the 1 minute, potential 1 minute inverse that's forming here. I think this becomes really good and actually gives you a better entry for the trade. I would stop to break even at this high if I was to take that. So we'll see. But I love to see that this is happening here. Exactly what I'm expecting. So let's see if we get clean delivery from here. Okay, so no, the higher this green candle goes, the less I like this 1 minute IFEG, and the more I'm attached to this one. But again, I'd like to see this come down, sweep the equal lows, and then get the setup. Okay, so I don't like this IFEG anymore. It's way too small. Look at this, it's tiny. So there's no reason to be looking at that anymore. This is what I'm looking for still. What I'm thinking is happening here is that we're trading back into this IFEG to reject and go lower. Again, is this an excuse to take a short? No. Why would I short after data lows got swept? That's dumb, right? If this happened up here after the data highs got swept, like if we got a 1 minute setup that looked like this, I would be all in this short. But here, I think it's dumb to do. Even if you think something's going to work, guys, it's not an excuse to take a trade. Okay, you don't want to be shorting in heavy discount. You want to be longing in heavy discount. Okay, so you can see this IFEG to the downside is failing here. Like I said, it's not a good place to short. We're in heavy discount, so not smart. If this ends up closing above, guys, again, I'll trade this with a third of my position size that I took this on. So this was a full size scalp. This is going to be a third of a size position because I want these equal lows. So I'm not going to be taking full unless this hits. Even if it works. It still looks really good, okay? And we have swept data lows. We do not have to sweep these equal lows. We don't have to. But again, the only way I'm taking full size, especially because I've already won a trade today, The only way I'm taking full size is if we reject from it, sweep the lows, and then get the setup later today. Okay. Can't repeat myself more than that. Do-do-do. I'm just looking to see if these are perfectly equal. They are not. Let me look at the other time frames quick. Decent looking 2 minute, not great. 3 minute, nothing A plus here. I don't like this volume imbalance. 5 minute, there is a 5 minute IFEG here. Not A plus enough for me. But we'll see what happens. Oh, I'm hoping not a lot of people have these equal lows marked. I don't think a lot of people are paying attention to these or see them. So that is the reason I think they will probably hit. Okay, hopefully this is what delivers us down. Again, patience, 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 as I always say. Oh, if your video was nice that you posted on YouTube, thank you, Kay. I appreciate it. Trying to give you guys more than just day trading. I wanted to cover some long-term stocks again. A lot of them I did still keep private because I want some of my Discord members to have the benefit of premium. Javier, really bad price action. Yeah, I mean it's not terrible. I actually think it's pretty good. This delivery of price is not great, but I think that we're going to get good PA here, so we'll see. But yeah, I wanted to cover more than just day trading, teach you guys a little bit about the economy and interest rates and the Fed, Trump policies, tariffs, etc., etc. Again, I'm by no means an expert, but that's my 2 cents on how it's going to impact the economy, impact stocks. Yeah, I'm going to try and make more videos. They just take a long time to edit and stuff. I need to hire somebody to edit my videos. Someone from like the Philippines to do it for like $2. It's just like my time is very valuable, so to make videos like that and edit them and everything, it takes a lot of time. But okay, so this 1 minute looks pretty good. If we can sweep these equal lows and then get this IFEG, this looks really good to me. If you guys want to be more conservative, you can wait for the 2 or the 3 minute. We'll see how this ends up closing, but I think these equal lows are coming now. Okay, let's see if we get it. You guys see how I told you guys I'm waiting for my thesis to play out, and until it does, I'm not taking a setup. And you can see based on screen time, I know that these are likely to hit. And yeah. So now you can see we've swept the data lows. Again, we've swept this liquidity. Okay, you can do it for $3. I'm not going to pay you $3, Kay. If I had you do them, I'd pay you more, but I want somebody who is really, 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 really good at editing and can do it for super cheap. Okay, so the thing I'm thinking right now, guys, is there's a macro time coming up at 10:50. So if we can get this delivery, and then we can get this within the macro time, I think that's going to be pretty darn good. What's the tilt saying? Oh, let's look at Top Step TV quick.
Cherry.
Is that cake? Did I mix up that? I think I might mix that up.
It's a Sunday.
Sunday with the cherry on top. The payout's the Sunday.
Cherries on just about anything.
That's the cherry on top. Good job, Trey.
Are they long in
they
here?
want to keep selling this thing lower, 55.86 last trade in the
Or
ES.
is he shorting this?
577 overnight lows.
77 is settlement. Also, we're 11 points away from it.
I think he's buying here.
A lot longer to go to get down to settlement. We got about 150 points to settlement. 19,399. If we're gonna get a test.
Man, we could see that any minute.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Not wrong.
Dow just heavy last trade. Dow's been chilling around 50, 60 points off the lows pretty much all day after it makes new lows. Dow 41,270 even.
Okay, I'm done with that. So again, guys, if we can get one more sweep of this liquidity, right, the sell side liquidity, equal lows, then I will be looking for my longs. But right now, this 1 minute looks great. The 2 minute looks good too if you want to wait for that. And the 3 minute looks good as well. Realistically, I would probably want to wait for the 3. And then, yeah, I would just pretty much hold it. But let's see what we get. They're always in loss.
Yep.
Yeah, every day.
You got the VIX dumping here. Looks like
Just looking at the
VIX
VIX.
dropping fast.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Just looking at the VIX. Yeah, 25. Last print in the.
Okay, here's the sell side. Should we target their stop loss? Honestly, probably.
VIX.
That's like leverage on leverage.
Yeah, I don't understand why you would be longing right before equal lows. It's a very dumb trade, in my opinion.
540. These are day lows in the NASDAQ. Overnight low in the NASDAQ, 19,441. So about 100 points to go there. But in terms of the day New York session, these are lows in NASDAQ.
Wow, I'm hungry. We've been streaming for 2 hours and 7 minutes. But we can't be missing this setup. Let me take a look real quick at crypto. Bitcoin is down. How is BLX up and Bitcoin down? Riot is down 2%. Let me just see what Tesla's up 5%. Very nice to see. What is the worst performer today? Anything that I want? Win down 4.5%. Whew. So, okay, I'm actually going to keep it to the Discord, but there's two stocks right now that I'm looking at that I think are going to be really good for swing trades. I've posted one of them in the Discord already, but the other one I'll be posting soon. Actually, I think I already posted it once, but I'll reiterate it so you guys can see what I am going to be taking. Two really nice looking stocks. So the red line here, obviously, guys, is the equal lows. We're just waiting on it. And then I want to see a nice setup form. Hopefully something like this. Oh, do 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 do. And my target, again, data highs will be my first target, and then equal highs will be my second target. What happened to the top of my arrow? I don't know. Doesn't matter. Do-do-do. Ooh. Do-do-do-do-do-do. 66% of people are short the market right now. Sorry. Yeah. 66% are short NQ, which I think is fair. I think that they will be successful until these equal lows hit. Then we want to see a potential reversal. Oh my god, wait guys. Oh, never mind. I thought these were equal lows on NQ. That would have changed my whole perspective for the day. But, okay, there's the equal lows. Alright, there is the equal lows, guys. So, if you really want to try something super high risk, you can long here and put your stop like right here. I would not suggest that, but once I see a change in the state of delivery, meaning a sweep above this high, for example, and then a close above these IFEGs, I'm going to look for longs. If we get something down here, it'll be even better, but it doesn't look like we will, but we'll see. Oh, no. Okay, so again, guys, now I am allowed to look for longs. We've swept the obvious equal lows that I was aiming for earlier. When we were up here, I told you guys we're likely to go down. And yeah, now, realistically, I'm going to wait for the 3-minute here. It looks the best. Even the 5-minute looks really good, too. So if we can get the 5-minute to close above and the 3 at the same time, I think this will be a good long. The 15-second actually had a nice long right now, but sometimes what I say does come true, sometimes it doesn't. But yeah, I agree. Most of the time, what I think is going to happen ends up happening. Not always, though, but sometimes. So if the 5-minute inverse is here and the 3-minute, this is where I'm looking for my longs. If you guys want a higher risk long, I mean, could you do this here? Yes, but there's no model, so I cannot take this, but we will see what happens. Oh, ooh, 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 ooh. Patience, patience, patience. And also, guys, if these don't end up hitting today, I'm still gonna leave this on my chart. Okay, this is the same thing as equal highs to me. A data high is the same thing as equal highs. So just like I'm gonna leave all the equal highs on my chart that I have in the past, I'm going to leave the data highs as well, extend them out in time. So if we miss them today and we just sell off somehow, then they will definitely be saved for later. So we'll see. But if you guys look at like the hourly chart, for example, we have so much liquidity resting up here. We have equal highs up here. I think this is just buy side liquidity. Equal highs up here. We have equal highs here, equal highs here. We even have equal highs at all-time highs. So I think there's going to be some great setups in the future to the bullish side. It's just a matter of when do they present themselves. All alone. Excuse me. Hoo 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 hoo. Do 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 do. The rebar reversal, what's up, bro? Long time no see. Yes, we took one short today. We booked about $500 in profit here. But what I'm looking for now, and I've been calling all morning, is these equal lows to get swept. Didn't take a short, but I wanted them to get swept, and now I'm looking for an upside trade. Bum 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 bum. Bo-do-do. Oh. So anywhere from this leg of price, I'm looking for longs. I'm expecting to see like random bullish green candles here, but we will see. So, but right now what I'm looking at, I see this really nice looking 5-minute IFEG. So if this closes above, I will be looking for a long, but I also want to see the 3-minute close above too. So we'll see what happens here. If we get a better entry, like if this ends up coming down and getting an IFEG down here, I'll trade that too, and then just move my stop to break even when we rebalance this area of price, but we'll see what we get. Bum 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 bum. Banana. Oh. Crazy how much patience you need to trade, to be a trader, bro. To sit here and watch this. So after your objective gets hit, right, and you want to see a reversal, but to wait for this. Imagine trying to trade this, guys. Look at these candles. Why would you want to be a part of this? This is disgusting. This is how you lose money right here. Wick up, wick down, wick up, wick down, wick down. No fair value gaps. This is terrible. And yeah, we're basically looking for manipulation. Big candles with big gaps. If you see big candles with big gaps, I'm telling you right now, the price action ends up being a lot cleaner and you'll end up getting a much better setup. So. Also, guys, if you're watching the stream, make sure you go to the bottom left corner and make sure you're live. Also, if you're in here and you haven't liked the stream, make sure you give it a thumbs up. It helps other people see it. If you don't do it, you're banned. That's it. So we just hit the 1050 macro, guys. So I'm looking for price to start speeding up here. Ideally, somewhere in this leg of price, I would like to see the market speed up. How is TNX behaving now? Okay, so a full-blown reversal here on TNX on the hourly. Push up and push down, exactly what I thought would happen. Right, if inflation is coming down, then if the Fed cuts rates, then the 10-year is going to start dropping. Okay, forgot to like the stream. All right, K, you're banned, bro. Okay, let's go to the settings and kick out K. Just kidding. Just kidding. Oh, who is messaging me in the Discord? 1 second. Okay, I just responded to your DM. Anytime you want to do the call, then you're welcome to. So another thing, guys, I've said this before, but I'm going to limit this to the next, I would say, 3 people that join the community because I don't have enough time to do any more. But with the subscription you get for $19 a month, I'm going to include one 30-minute coaching call every month. Probably for the first, I'd say for like the first 6 months. So you get 6 coaching calls if you subscribe. But that's it for the next 3 people. After that, there's no way I can do it. There's not enough time. Ba-da-da-da-da. Patience, patience, patience. So you guys can see, if you guys want to know what this is, these are macro times. I've said this on almost every single stream, but on TradingView, this is the indicator I use, Next Macros by Cognito. These times in the market are typically when the market moves the most. So if you ever are hesitant to take a trade, if you can just wait for this macro time, you'll end up being a lot more successful. The odds of a successful trade are much higher in these. So take a screenshot if you want, but this indicator just lists them on the chart for me. Did we just create equal highs here? Ooh, all right. So we got a set of equal highs. I'd like to see that. Hopefully these hold and we create an IFEG and we can target them for later. Like to see that. So I'm expecting, I wouldn't be surprised if we touch midnight opening price here, and then we get a setup to the equal highs, but we'll see. Or they just pump it, who knows. But again, there's no setup to these right now. Oh, oh. Alright, so there's the equal highs. Okay, this might be the longs here. We'll see. You guys see how the 1050 macro started pumping price? It's not a coincidence. Oh my god. Bro, there's some funny ass videos on X. This is what I do, guys. If the market is not behaving properly or if I'm waiting for something, I just sit. And I mean, it's nice to have people on the stream, but gotta wait. Gotta wait. So probably if we're gonna get something, it'll be somewhere here. But the RR on this trade is gonna be crazy. If we get it, this is what, a 6 point. I mean, it might even be a better RR than this. Like an 8 to 1 RR is gonna be wild. But only if the setup forms. Like, you can't even see the take profit. It's so high up on the screen. And it's going to be higher, guys. I'm leaving runners to the equal highs if we get them. Okay. This doesn't look bad to me right now. If we can sweep this liquidity and then get an inverse here, stop to break even at the high, that would be pretty nice. We all are disciplined like you. Hopefully you're all disciplined. Okay, nice dump there. Another sweep of liquidity, so this looks good to me. I think I'll take this. Stop to break even at this high, and then we'll let it run. Okay, so I'm expecting, if the market is going to get a reversal today, I'm expecting it to happen here. 3-bar reversal, sure, that's definitely possible. Again, I only take trades if the setup presents itself. Like, the fact that we are this low in the market, guys, this is ridiculous. We've had barely any retracements. Like, if this ends up, if this inverse ends up working to the downside, that is ridiculous. So, we'll see, but, like, if this hourly ends up closing below here, and we end up sweeping this low and all this liquidity, like, the market is, like, pretty much broken. So there was just an hourly close below this fair value gap. So in theory, guys, this should go lower. Am I taking this short? Hell no. There is no reason for me to take this short. It's 2.5 standard deviations from the high. If it is, but... Woo. If people are looking for shorts in these areas of price, I mean, okay, maybe you'll be successful, but I'm telling you guys right now, like, this type of thing rarely happens in the market. We don't get these massive sell-offs and heavy discounts without getting some ridiculous upside moves. So, like, shorting at these lows just because of 2.5 standard deviations, I think that's not the smartest thing. But, again, could you be successful? Sure. I'm not here to tell you guys how to trade. That is up to you. Boo-doo-doo. 3-bar reversal. The short was much earlier. Even shorting today, I mean, with equal highs above us, data candle here, like, I think it's dumb. Where was the short? Here? There's no short here. Here, there is a short, but there's liquidity resting above. We didn't even sweep this high, so none of these are high probability shorts, in my opinion. But, again, maybe your model is different to mine, right? Okay, so not a bounce where I was expecting there. Again, am I taking a trade because of it? No. Rejected the 5-minute SIBI. Yeah, I mean, if you guys trade the 2022 model short, then sure. But again, for my model and where we are in the markets, shorting anywhere here is not smart to me. If it's smart to you guys, then by all means, continue with it, right? I'm not going to tell you guys how to trade or how to make money. And if you're making money in this downside move, I congratulate you. I just think that in these areas of price, you should not be looking for shorts, in my view. Okay. Okay. So we just swept a London low right there. Again, nothing A+ here yet, but we'll see what we get. We will see. Wow, we've been streaming for almost 3 hours. Okay, so what I'm going to do... Here's what I'm going to do, guys. If we don't get a setup in the next 30 minutes, so by the time I get 3 hours on the stream, I'm going to move the live stream to the Discord. because I've been on YouTube for almost 3 hours now, and it's just been a long time. So that if we get the A plus setup later, I'll move it to the. For those of you who are in the Discord, I'll start the live at it's 8:04, so in 30 minutes. That's what I'll do. But for now, hopefully we get the setup before the 3 hour mark. We're at 2 hours and 34 minutes. Ba-da-doo. Rachel, where do we join DC? I posted a link to the Discord. It's pinned. If you guys go on wap.com, there's a link on the in the chat pinned. And tomorrow, guys, I will be streaming in the Discord only, not on YouTube. But again, hopefully we get a setup before that. But I've been streaming for almost 3 hours now, so. The 5-minute fair value gap we're bouncing out of right now could hold. Again, guys, I'm just looking for potential PD arrays that are going to bounce us. And yeah. I still think there's a possibility of getting a good upside move today, but we'll see. I actually am still so shocked by how big of a down move this is. I think this is purely, I mean, the algorithms are obviously involved with how the markets move, like I've always said, but the pressure that Trump is putting on the 10-year treasury right now is just creating these, like, I think it's also creating these big downside moves without any pullbacks. If we can sweep this daily low, let me look at NQ1 real quick. I'm going to be adding even more to my positions, to my long-term portfolios. I've told you guys before, and in the Discord I've mentioned many times, if we have a 10% drop or more in the markets, I add to all my long-term portfolios, my Roth, everything. And we've had a almost 15% drop now on the NASDAQ and a 10% drop on the S&P. So great spots to add for the long term, in my opinion. Sheesh. Wild. But yeah, there's no breaks. It's crazy. Crazy moves here. But you can see, I mean, again, I said that the hourly inverse, would I short this? Absolutely not. But wouldn't be surprised now to see this low, and then maybe we get a liquidity sweep, and then we get the long setup after. We'll see. But you guys see how it works on all time frames, but again, some are higher probability than others. Like trying to short an inverse down here when we're in such deep discount is like crazy to me. But yeah, I think probably here or after this liquidity gets swept, maybe we'll get a setup to the upside, but we'll see. We will see. Again, guys, we have a win today, so I'm gonna be extra patient. Not just gonna take the first thing that I see unless it's too good to ignore. Two sets of 5-minute fair value gaps here. So if we can close above both of these, I think that looks pretty darn good. But ideally, I'd want to see the 1-minute close above too. So we'll see. But somewhere here, I think we could have a potential long setup. And it may sound, I may be sounding like a broken record over the last, I don't know, 1 to 2 weeks, because it's just incredible that we're getting such big downside moves without retracements. The odds of this happening it's so rare. I don't think I've ever seen a downside move at this scale without any big retracements. Like, this is very rare, very rare. And I've actually heard other traders say that have been trading for longer than me. I've not been trading for that long, right? Like, give or take 5 years. But there's a few traders that I speak to and that I've heard speak on whatever platforms that have said they haven't seen, in the 20 years or whatever that they've been trading, they haven't seen these types of downside moves without at least some big retracements at this point in this like leg of price on the higher time frames. I'm on the 1 minute right now, obviously, but on the daily. Okay, so on the 15-second chart, we do have a really nice looking IFEG right here if it closes above, but I'm not going to take it. But we'll see how price develops here, but I'm looking for something A+. Right now, what I'm seeing is these two 5-minute IFEGs. If we can close above these on the 5, you could take a long and move your stop to break even at this high. Or, I mean, what I'll probably do is move my stop to break even when this 1 minute fair value gap hits, and then allow it to be a free trade if it's going to be. But if we can come down and sweep this and then get an A+ setup, that'll be even better. So we'll see what we get. But you can see the macro time ended up moving price. Come on, markets. Let's make something happen. Give us an A+ setup. Woo! Oh, My goodness, bro. Again, guys, I could be done here because I've taken a green trade. I don't have to be trading anything here, so only if something so good I can't ignore happens will I execute. Can't stress that enough, guys. So here's what I will say. If we end up sweeping this low, taking out the hourly sell side and just keep dumping with no lack of display, with a big amount of displacement below here, then I am probably wrong on the bias today, and we will have to evaluate the market tomorrow to see if there is going to be a setup to these equal highs. But I still think there's a possibility for something good. We just have to be patient, like I said. Another goal on this channel is to basically ingrain in you guys what an A+ setup looks like. And I showed you guys this one earlier. But for those of you who are maybe just joining the stream, this is the type of setup I'm looking for. A sweep of liquidity, A+ IFEG, equal highs above. And today, we have equal highs above us. We have a potential liquidity sweep. So if I get that 5-minute inverse, then I'll be looking for these equal highs. Or something along these lines. Maybe the 5-minute forms here. But something around here is what I'm looking for. Let's take a look at ES quick. So weak, bro. Look at this. ES has already taken out its London low. And it's actually coming close to the lows we formed yesterday, right? Yeah. Crazy. Let's look at the rest of the market. Tesla's up, top performer after being down 15%. VIX went from being down 5% to now only being down 1.9%. Wow, I am starving. Why am I so hungry right now? Okay, so maybe this is the spot we get the reversal right before the lows. Potentially possible. We'll see. So if we get a full-blown reversal here and close above on the 5, this could be good. This could be good. Technically right now we do have an SMT with ES, right? ES took its London lows, NQ did not. This looks pretty good, but we'd have to see the 2 5-minute fair value gaps close above here. Let me look at the 3. This is really tough, PA, for sure. Because look at this. We have our 3-minute fair value gap here. We have our 2-minute. We have the 1-minute. I'd really want to see everything get closed above, not just one fair value gap. So technically we got to close above this 5-minute, but you can see we traded into the second 5-minute and we're wicking. So I don't know if this is going to be a reversal spot to go back down. So I cannot enter this short. Cannot enter this long. Yeah, we have a 10-minute, we have a 15-minute. This is really tough. The 3-minute looks decent, but you have a 3-minute above us here, and we have a 5-minute, so very tough to take this right now. Okay, so far a rejection. We will see. This is kind of like the moment of truth here. Wow. And also, guys, I want to point out this 5-minute fair value gap did hold in the end, which is good to see. So you guys can see the 5-minute closed above, but we have a secondary 5-minute here that's rejecting. So cannot enter this long yet. But I do like this reaction here. Oh man, this looks pretty good. So hard not to click buttons here, but have to wait. We got 2 minutes till this 5-minute closes. And it's so tough because we have a 3-minute and a 1-minute above us. Wow. 30 seconds till the 5-minute close. Even if this closes above, guys, I can't take this long because we have a 3-minute above us, a 2-minute, and a 1-minute. So you just have to be so careful. Okay, so the 5-minute did just close above. Man. I want to take this long so badly, but I can't. Three-minute closes in 2 minutes. I wish I could give you guys something A+ here, but there's too many what ifs. See, like yesterday, this 5-minute fair value gap, if you zoom into this time frame, there was a lot less in the way. So like there's only this fair value gap on the 1, and when we closed above it, and the 5 at the same time, it was much cleaner than what we're seeing here. Okay, so the 3-minute has closed above. Now we just have a 2-minute and a 1-minute. So if both of these can close above, then I think longs are good. And it looks like the 2 and the 1 might close above at the same time, so maybe not, we'll see. Okay, so no close above on the 1. On the 2-minute, we did officially get a close above here. Man. So tough. Such a tough section of price. Okay, guys, I think... This is so hard, guys. I'm not gonna lie. This is such a tough leg of price to be trading. I wish I could give you guys a more sure answer here, but I'm not going to pretend like it is a perfect setup because it's not. So I'm going to stay patient here until I have more confirmation. Again, I don't want to sugarcoat it. If something is not exactly what I want to see, I'll tell you guys. And right now, I mean, if these were the only two fair value gaps in this leg of price, both of these 5 minutes, I'd be all over this. But the fact that we had this 2, which did close above, but we have this little 1 here. We have a very close stop to break even. This makes it fishy to me. I think what I'm going to do here, guys, is I'm going to enter on a third. When this 1 minute closes above, I'll enter with a third position size. Only if we get a retracement. So like, let's say we sweep this low. I'll enter this with a third position size and move my stop down here. So let's see if we get it. But technically, this is the entry right here for the longs. But I have a feeling we're probably going to get a move below this low, and then I'll enter if we get it. Otherwise, I'm not going to. But if you're in this, your stop to break even should be at this high. But I'm just being super cautious. I already have a win today. I'm not just going to enter and chase price. So, but nonetheless, this is technically a valid setup. Every single fair value gap has closed above here. I'm just being extra cautious. So tough, guys. Again, I wish I could tell you this is a better leg of price, but I don't like this. Also, I'm looking at the 30-second chart right here, and we have a potential 30-second inverse to the downside, which means this low could hit, and we could potentially trade back into these. So, all right. So it is 8:30. I've now been streaming for 3 hours. I'm going to take this private to the Discord now. If you guys would like to join again, there's a link in the description. But I will see you guys there. All right. Thanks for joining, guys. I appreciate your time. And if something better happens in here, I will alert the Discord. We'll be live.